I'm here with Caroline Craven, MS activist extraordinaire. She's just everywhere doing everything all the time for people with MS. And we're going to chop it up about self care and many other things that you probably need to take care of toward this year end if you have MS. And we're going to talk about all that stuff right now. Please tell me your diagnosis story, Caroline. Like, how did you figure out that you have MS?
I will. Well, back in 2001, I was traveling in Guatemala with some friends, and just over a few weeks lost the ability to walk or see unassisted. So by the time I got home, I looked like I was just three martinis at 8 in the morning. I couldn't walk. I was stumbling. Finally got to the right doctor, and they were able to do the MRI and the analysis. So probably from
Hmm.
start to finish, just about 2 months, 3 months,
Wow.
which was pretty good.
So
Yeah.
you went from like I'm fine and then I don't feel so good and then over the course of 3 months figuring out that you have MS.
Yeah, yeah. I was really active before I got sick. I was a rock climber, mountain biker, whitewater kayaker, trained horses, cowgirl. I mean, backcountry skier. We did everything about life.
Is you were out here. You were out here like just walking over things and like, wait, you're a horse, I'm gonna ride you. And wait, you're a mountain, I'm gonna climb you. And then MS.
And then MS, and then I couldn't even barely stand. So
Yeah.
it hit really hard and fast. Yeah.
So, you know what's also interesting about your story as well is that you have all the sort of doctors and the specialists and all that in one bag, but you also have another bag of what are other things that I can find and read and practices that I can put into my own life. And well, maybe I did well with that one, or maybe I did not do so well with that one, and that's fallen off. And so you have a sort of a mixed bag for wellness. And that's another reason why I wanted to have you here because wellness looks different on different people. And just having you talk about that and what that means to you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, and that was something I learned early on with the wellness, and I was in a 3-year double-blind study at USC for an actual vaccine for MS. Do you imagine that? T-cell vaccine.
Whoa.
And during 3 years, I became, because I didn't know what I was on, and I knew I wasn't on any drug except possibly this test. So I became certified in holistic nutrition, certified life coach. I studied Ayurvedic and Chinese, everything I could get my hands on to understand the human body from more than just my doctor's perspective so that I could blend the two to work well. And my doctor worked really well with the research I did, so the two worked well together.
I think it's important that you say that in that way because our healthcare providers are really only part of the wellness, and you have to dig and figure out your own wellness and what sort of wellness looks like in you. And what are some other modalities that you may or may not have had access to, or that the healthcare provider might have given you access to, that could still you could still prove beneficial for you. And that's why I really wanted to highlight what you do because you have a whole mix of things that you've put in your bag and that has worked for you. Like what would you say to some sort of newly diagnosed person who's just really just trying to figure out which way is up?
Oh, that's such a good question. And I hope that this person has a good doctor to work with,
Mm,
first of all. And that's so important is to try to find an MS specialist doctor. And then so you know that you're getting the right test and you're getting that side of your disease looked at. But I think it's really important to know that you're going to be okay. There's going to be some life changes. You might need to change the way you eat, the way you walk, the way you work, the way you talk. But those changes will eventually come back to a quality of life that is good.
mm.
And I think that's so key.
Yeah, it's the idea of you're just in this like pain, not well functioning place. You get diagnosed, and then it's like, all right, here's your assortment of pharmaceuticals. Good luck. And then hopefully you sort of get enough space where you're like, maybe I should try add this modality. Maybe I should add this supplement as well and see how it works. Oh, that didn't work? Fine, let me try something else and not get discouraged and keep going until you find something that works for you because MS is so individual.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I found that I really relied on the things that worked with me before my MS, but things I could still do.
Mm.
Uh, Obviously, eating well was something, but I could learn more about that. Yoga, just a slow meditative move, really becoming in tune with your body,
Mm.
um, being aware of what your body is really going through, and also dealing with the emotions and the feelings. I mean, I went through kind of a whole grieving process. You know, I was a
Mm.
big wig and an executive and all of this, and all of a sudden I'm medically disabled and can't get out of bed. And it's like I had to grieve that loss of that person, but allow that new person to come in.
That's wicked important that you say that, and I don't think that gets discussed enough. There's a portion of grieving that kind of can go down for more wellness, for to help keep you unstuck. I know what that means to me, but what does that mean to you?
Yeah, I'm having a total mind blank right now. MS, oh my god, it still happens to me at the best of times.
Yeah, that's another thing that's in addition to this. Like as much wellness as we find, as much as many forward steps and strides as we make, we still have MS. We still have MS to deal with and to contend with, and sometimes that pops up in ways in which either haven't popped up in a while, or we had expected that we were beyond this sort of a thing. And so, just finding that space is important, and that's kind of another reason why I would like. It's great that you're here because as you get as who you are is slowly leached out of you bit by bit, and as that absence happens, the addition of new things of who you are and things sort of get added, and they might not have necessarily been the same as before, and now you're this different you and things like that. So taking the time to run through modalities and just be patient with yourself to keep your head on straight and keep going forward is of utmost importance when you're dealing with something like MS.
Yeah, and I think a couple others that I'd like to mention too. One is MS is a lot like running on an iPhone battery. Just you get too many apps running in the background. You don't push them aside. You know, boom, you're done for the
Mm, mm.
yeah.
Right, you got to close out some of the maps, girl. You're gonna have to sit yourself down. You're gonna have to drink some more water. You're gonna have to take some supplements. You're gonna have to not eat gluten and sugar and stuff, just so that your phone can be working properly. Don't get it twisted.
I know, like keep those apps off. You know, I mean, just watch your energy and yeah. There's so many other things too keep coming to mind, but I know more will come up. Oh,
So, oh, go ahead.
boundaries. Sorry, I didn't want to forget this. A
No.
really good one. Setting boundaries for yourself and for others. And this leads into asking for help. And that's probably the number one thing that a newly diagnosed person will need to do is if they, especially if they've never done it before, is they're going to need to start learning to ask for help, letting that ego go, become egoless. Life is limitless. Move on. You know, there's a lot to be said in that.
Now, that's a again like that's a jewel. That's a shiny jewel to put in your wellness bag because look, you're just gonna have to take your time, bro. You're just gonna have to be patient with yourself, and in a lot of respects, having something like this helps you remember that you didn't get this way overnight, and you're not going to remove this thing from your life overnight. And it's going to take time and dedication. And the more you sort of lean into that and build new habits, the more success you will find.
Mhm.
100%.
Yeah, very
Mm.
much so.
So, all
Very
right. So you got diagnosed in like, within past the 2000s, right?
2001. We had just passed Y2K. Yeah, 2001.
Great. So now, like, you have all this sorts of strange disability. Like, talk to me about sort of how you were down in the dumps, so to speak, like literally and physically, and
Mhm.
what was the difference maker to help you start to inch away from that? You know?
Mhm. It's actually pretty interesting because in the beginning, my doctors did not want to put me on any steroid infusions, which I know a lot of people take.
Hmm.
Um, she thought that I could heal and come back naturally, even though she was a Western trained neurologist. She just knew yoga was helping. The yoga was really helping my balance and all of that. Um, my one of my problems was that my gag reflex for my MS sort of was stopped my ability to eat, and I lost
Yep.
my appetite. So we started going to cannabis for that, and that helped. I mean, I had lost 40. I was just emaciated at a
Hmm.
certain point, and then we
Hmm.
found over the years that that helped a lot of the other symptoms. And I started finding some strength back, and I was able to start walking and exercising more. And within a couple of years, I still had a lot of cognitive issues, but my strength was still there, a lot more than it is now, I'd say, but it was still holding on.
I have pause in this because it just really just does seem that people just don't, they're not well, so they just want to know what they can do to get better. And it's like, look, man, you're going to have to figure that out over time, and you're going to have to go through some things that maybe work well for other folks, but not necessarily work so well for you. And to still sort of keep your head up and keep going and know that there's something else out there for you and that you can get beyond this thing and keep moving forward. That's kind of what I'm also getting here out of this, you know?
Yeah, very, very much so. I feel like so much of a trial and error. I put so much of it on my blog on the Girl with the Mask, but it's got, just you can even see the changes in my posts over the last 12 years of different things I've gone through and I've tried and I still love, and some things I don't use as much anymore. Some things I still use all the time. There is no one answer. You got to believe in yourself and be smart and do some smart research. There are some good resources out there for people. We have 20 approved drugs now, and we had the ABC shots when I was approved. I took a shot every day that I had to mix with powder and water. Mix it up, inject it, and then inject it every day.
What kind of on the corner drug medicine stuff is this? Like, oh, here, son, you have multiple sclerosis. Well, let me just kind of give you this thing to put up, mix up, and put in a needle, and then you would inject it into your cell. And why don't you do that 3 times a week? Maybe. I don't know if this will work, but
We had to do it every day, every day. So it's see the drugs have changed so much. The fact that you can have auto injectors, the fact I mean, the first oral pill that came out, the infusions. I mean, I have to say, of the 20 years of having this illness, right now, I think is probably one of the most exciting times because there's so much great research. All the new young advocates like yourself are coming out and just helping build awareness. I mean, it's like a few of us for so long, and now it's wonderful. I mean,
mm,
it's like we're getting noticed, and we need to.
yeah, there's never really a good time to have MS,
Well,
but now's a really good time to have MS because of all of the pharmaceuticals available, the therapies available, because of all the research that has gone into finding wellness in people and different populations and this minority. And this is how it is for women with child. This is how it is for an African American man. This is how it is for a Latina. All of those permutations have sort of been worked out over the years. And we're now in this place where, if you have this thing that's not so sweet, you have, I don't know, the internet for you to do research. You have, I don't know, YouTube to help build your community. You have, I don't know, just the entire body of knowledge that is publicly available at the touch of a button. And your will to get through all of that and to figure out what modality would work for you to give you some wellness, man, that just was not available 20 years ago, man. So this, it's weird to say it, but yeah, this is the time to have MS.
It is. But, even the doctors that are out there on social media, they're rocking it up. I mean, they are just like doing YouTubes and explaining stuff, and they're out there giving a face from a medical standpoint, which I think is huge,
Mm,
right?
mm, mm.
So those doctors are just.
All right. Well, this is looking like my jam is freezing up. So, yeah, there you go. All right, great. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure I do something to shut this out to be able to close this out before my software gives up on me. Um, I don't know, Carolyn. Caroline, there's so many different modalities and things to find wellness. And oh, my friend tried this, or I've heard about somebody who tried this, or somebody in one of my wellness groups has done this and it doesn't work for me, or maybe it does, or there's just so many questions. And really, a part of your job as a patient is to figure out your own answers, not the answers, but your own.
Very much so.
Ah, man. Now, the being in the space with somebody like yourself who has the stripes, so to speak, with the pharmaceuticals and the modalities from all around the world, and have been able to take a critical eye at them and work out what works for you, and walk forward in that and try to help other people in that way. That it's humongous, Caroline. Caroline. It's humongous. So that's why it's important to keep creating like this to be examples for other folk, and to really help them know what's possible. Really.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one of the best things a doctor said the other day, just because there's so much discussion about the new disease modifying therapies and different things. And he's like, a person should take the medicine that they're going to take. They should choose the drug that they actually are going to adhere to and take. That's what I mean. So, but that's so important. It's like you could say, well, I'm going to do this and this and this, or, well, I don't believe in acupuncture or cupping, but maybe I'll try it. Well, if you've already got the negative thought, go for the
Mm.
things you believe in first and then start exploring. But there is so much research and so many organizations that have such great
Mm.
research, I guess, resources now.
Do what you actually would do. And that is a rather simple thing to say, but it's not easy. And a lot of times people conflate simple and easy. And just because something's easy doesn't mean it's simple. And just because something's simple does not mean that it's easy.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
I went to so many university classes. Yes, simple, but it wasn't easy.
Wow, thank you for sharing this space, Caroline. What parting words would you say? Anything to maybe a newly diagnosed person, or maybe how about this? Two questions. What would you say to a newly diagnosed person, and what would you say to a veteran that is just really out here, just really trying to find some more wellness for themselves?
Oh, that's fascinating. Two wonderful questions. Anyone newly diagnosed, I say you're going to get through this.
Mm,
It's going to be okay. And those
mm,
were the words that were told to me by not elderly, but older women that had MS,
Mm.
and they'd had it for 20 years, and they just said, yeah, life's going to change. There's going to be some things. You may change a lot, you may change a little, but you will be okay.
Mm.
And that just helped me a lot. Now, today I want to say to the people that there's so many great communities out there to find support. And
Mm.
that's important for a new person, that their family supports them and that they can find support from other people. And again, I think with veterans, which is a subject very close to my own heart, actually. So I just, yeah,
That's why I'm
I
out
just
here
did a bunch
asking
of
I'm
reading.
asking the questions, Caroline. Come on now.
I know. You know, it's actually amazing how much MS dollars go to research on veterans,
Mm.
and I don't have any dollar amounts, and I'm sure it's not as much as it could be, but there's been a lot of research. Um, for them, I mean, I would love it if there were places they could go to find the help and the resources that they need in their areas. Um, I know even in our area in Los Angeles, there's a lot more resources on the west side than there are on my side.
Then the east side,
You know,
yes, indeed, indeed.
yeah, yeah, and the valleys and all of that. Anything we can do to help the veterans, I'd love to actually learn more about that because with MS specifically, you know, that's I can't imagine serving it in war, dealing with symptoms. And I'm also curious why the numbers seem higher among veterans with MS than other people. And I don't know if that's true.
Oh no, I meant an MS veteran, not a person that went to war and stuff.
Oh, that's so funny. I'm all like getting into the war. Oh my gosh, wait, these people fought to save our country. We need to save. Um,
No. The difference between what would you tell someone who was newly diagnosed, and then what would you tell someone who was maybe diagnosed 15 years ago, type of stuff.
probably something I would tell myself recently
Exactly.
is, are you really taking the best care of yourself right now during COVID, or have you started to take things for granted,
Mm.
which is really easy to do as you start to, especially if the disease is a little invisible, or you start to do things like going on, are you starting to slip with your modalities and your wellness program? It's kind of, and it's also very easy to isolate. We're already isolating, and we need to be careful not to isolate too much because I think
Mm.
it's hard on us. You know, it's
Mm.
easy to do, but I also think it's good for us to remain in community, which is why this stuff is so important. You know.
Wow, indeed. That's why these sorts of things are important, and it's why it's important to continue for me to continue to create and to talk to more people newly diagnosed who's been diagnosed 20 years ago, and to continue to make the space for us all to learn and grow and really find some wellness. This is why it's so important to me. Just the things that you just mentioned in those ways.
Yeah, yeah, and I am working on my book. It's called Conquer MS with Self Care.
Woo!
Some nice little stuff. I'm just waiting on some final things, and we'll get that off. But it's really a guide to help people. We want to get it in as many hands as possible. Just kind of some life coaching skills to help
Mm.
people move on in life.
Mm.
Um, some of the other things that people should know about that are new and different. Just being able to be out there and help people. I mean, the community is amazing because they all help me. You know, I work with communities and they get back to me like, well, what have you been doing? What yoga did you do today? What walk did you take? It's that accountability that we need.
Absolutely. I did not start out trying to create MS videos, but I create MS videos now. And now it's like, I have to make sure I keep showing up for the community. I have to make sure that I'm looking within myself to try to pull out new stuff for not only me, but for you, for us, for whoever is watching, to just keep digging, you know?
Hmm. Yep.
No, thank you. Caroline Craven, where can people find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on my blog is girlwithms.com.
Mm.
Twitter, we've got the Girl with MS. Facebook, you can usually find me at Girl with MS. It's still there, but we have been in a 6-month 7-month battle now. They took me down due to a hacker, and we're still trying to get that account back up.
Oh,
Like thousands of followers
yeah.
on there, and I can't even. I have no admin rights. But you're more than welcome to find me on Facebook, Instagram, Girl with MS. It's all variations of that, but please,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, she's out here, man, and she's the girl with MS. The amount of knowledge, experience, sort of um, going through different things, having the trials, and having your own receipts, so to speak, and how that helps yourself move forward and how that helps other people around you move forward. That's one of the most important things. And so, thank you for giving your space and your. I'm the girl with MS that I've been writing this vlog for, I don't know, 8 years, something like that, and still being able to contribute to the space and want to help more people who are working with the same thing you are.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate being here. I mean, it's all about saying take that MS. So anything we can do together, we're stronger, and we're
That's
gonna.
it. That's it. And that's all. Together we stronger, baby. Thank you, Caroline Craven. And thank y'all for watching. And I'm going to catch you some other time, maybe next week, hopefully next week. But you know, I've been having some trouble staying on schedule. But you know, I'm working on that. So we going to see how it goes. Anyway, K-Bite!